Well, let's turn to Iran, where it's been confirmed that President Ebrahim Raisi and his foreign minister have been killed in a helicopter crash. Mr. Raisi and Hossein, I'm not even going to attempt this last name, were flying in heavy fog when the helicopter suffered a hard landing into a mountain peak. State television is reporting that there have been no signs of life at the crash site. And I'm joined now by Sky News contributor Kosha Gada. Kosha, there's a lot of speculation about what this means for the conflict in the Middle East. The president isn't the most powerful figure in Iran. That's the Ayatollah. So do you think his death could mean any change in strategy?
I think that is the question. Given that the Ayatollah is the supreme leader and really controls most of the political power in that country, it would appear that this isn't really going to be that consequential, certainly not in the immediate term. On paper, the president really is more of a ceremonial role and doesn't have that much authority. Behind the scenes, of course, there might be different ones who express divergent opinions and things happen behind closed doors to some extent. But reportedly, President Raisi was not one of those. And he was somebody who was very much in the image of the Ayatollah, very much in agreement with him on all policy positions. And so it would appear that the replacement is likely going to be somebody similar, since the Ayatollah is still around. He's 85 years old, and while there will be elections that have to take place, he is most likely expected to appoint or select the next person in those elections who's likely to win and is going to be a replacement, and we won't see much change, I don't think, in policy positions.
Yeah, it's not considered truly democratic elections, far from it. Now, is there the possibility that there was anything suspicious in this crash, or is it simply a case of bad weather and aging equipment?
It's impossible to know that, and we can only speculate. What we do know is that it was bad weather. This is very tough terrain close to the border with Azerbaijan. Even the search and rescue and recovery mission has been very difficult and very challenging to execute, which suggests that it's certainly possible that it was accidental. But what we also know is whenever there is opportunity and motive for something suspicious to happen to these world leaders, that's human nature, and it's natural and appropriate even to harbor some suspicion that there might be more to the story. We'll never know, of course. And there are lots of actors who have motive to have something like this happen, both domestically. It's very unpopular with dissidents and people who want the reform movement in Iran, as well as right now globally, given the conflict in that region and all the movements that are happening on the geopolitical stage. It's certainly not out of the realm of possibility that there's more to it.
Now, the president is often referred to as the Butcher of Tehran. Can you tell us how he got this title?
Yes, the history is that in 1988, he was one of 4 or 5 judges that presided over mass capital punishment executions of political prisoners and political dissidents. I think the U.S. Treasury Department, during sanctions that they imposed on Iran back in 2019, even said that these were extrajudicial, where they went sort of outside the laws on the books in Iran and executed thousands or even tens of thousands of political dissidents. And that's where that name comes from.
Yeah, all right. Kosha Gada, thank you so much for explaining that to us tonight.